Yay Networks.
Hey.
Hello.
Here we are.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, yes. Hey, it's Laura.
Hey, it's Emily.
And this is Cheers
Cheers
to That Shit.
Here we are. I just told Laura, I was like, do you feel, for some reason, I feel like we haven't done this in 3 weeks. We were literally here a week ago. I'm like, I just feel so
Well, a lot happened since last week.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. We went to a conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to Greenville, South Carolina to a wedding education conference and got to meet a lot of really cool people from there, vendors in that market, and some really cool other speakers.
Yeah.
I spoke, which, whatever. But we met some really fun, cool people. We're not going to talk about my speaking engagement.
I think we should.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Let's just say there was lots of room for improvement there.
Oh my goodness. No. Okay. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Everyone does something for the first time.
Uh-huh.
And Laura is being so absolutely hard on herself. It was the first time. It really wasn't that bad.
I mean, I get up and speak in front of people a lot, all the
like
time.
A presentation.
Yes. In a market where I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got in your head. It really was not that bad. She's making it sound like she just totally fucked it all up. But
it was a little bit embarrassing. But anyway, we had a really good time. We met some new people, some new speakers, and learned a lot just from hanging out.
Yeah, no.
That's always my favorite part of going to any kind of educational event is speakers are great and you learn a lot from them. But sometimes when you pair off in little groups of people or one-on-one and go out for drinks after dinner, usually that's where the walls come down and you get to learn a lot about.
Can we talk about the dinner at that Italian restaurant?
Sure.
I thought I like overindulged. I like gorged myself because it was so fucking good. So good.
It was pretty good.
I was like,
I love that you took the lead on that, as you do on every little work trip we go on, where because I like to try new places and I like to try to go to local places when I'm in another market, because I can go to, whatever, the chain restaurants. But I love how you just took control of that, and we just popped around to a couple new restaurants, a couple little bars, and it's nice to experience another city like that.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Well, we went to Vegas last year, that brunch place.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it was going to be great. As soon as we pulled up,
it
I was
looked like
like
a truck stop diner.
Yeah. I was like, shit, I fucked up. But we got in and the food was good. Like that was pretty legit brunch.
Yeah. We went to Vanderpump's too. That was something new.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That drink. I think about that drink every now and then.
Yeah. So we're going back to Vegas in a few
you're
weeks.
speaking there as well. So you got to get
looking
your
forward
shit together.
to it. I am so looking forward to it. Hey, but I have a whole list of corrections. So I think everybody may have benefited in a little.
Well, that guy came back to you afterwards and he told you that he already downloaded the app and like was doing all that stuff. I mean, anyway, Laura's being way too hard. Greenville was fun. We went to, we went to another restaurant. Was it a Belgian restaurant?
Yes.
It was really good as well. I mean, it was a good time. It was a good experience. The only thing, honestly, is I wish that we would have stayed just an extra day.
Somebody had to get back home.
I know, but I'm saying like if we could have, because I hate being in a car. Like I hate it so much.
Well, I think we underestimated that drive too, because it was like 4.5 hours.
Which doesn't seem that bad. It doesn't saying it out loud, like it doesn't seem that bad.
It doesn't, but we were in the car and then
we were
conference,
there, and then we
came
back in the car. Yeah.
So it was pretty fast.
It was like 9 hours in the car, turn around. It was just too much.
It was a lot. And I don't like to drive on long trips. And plus we almost got killed by a truck driver. So there was that, which was a whole nother story.
It was a good time.
Good
drive.
Good time.
I saw the peach butt. All was good.
Yeah. That is a highlight of the trip to South Carolina.
All is good. Well, do you have anything else or do you want to dive in?
No, I think we should jump right into it because this is pretty.
Jump it in.
Yeah, this is an exciting topic. I got a lot of opinions about this one.
I know. I'm excited. So we're going to be talking about wedding guest faux pas and shit that they just shouldn't fucking do.
Yeah, I was going to say faux pas is kind of a nice word.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I made a mistake. No, this is like, don't do it.
Like wedding guest bullshit. Like don't bring your bullshit
don't do
to my wedding.
Yeah, this ain't about you.
Yeah. So I think the number one thing that even I thought about when we were going into this was asking for a +1 or bringing an uninvited guest.
Yeah, that for sure. That I have a story which isn't even really, well, I mean, I guess bringing an uninvited guest, but this was kind of like, really?
Tell it.
Oh. So the one, I'm just going to go back to Jackie's wedding, which I always do. Everyone's going to know my daughter and my whole wedding story with
Everyone's
that.
gonna be like, how do you continue to have stories to tell from Jackie's wedding?
Oh,
you're like, oh,
don't
boy.
challenge me.
Oh,
Don't
boy.
challenge me. So yeah, I invited a couple, a Mr. and Mrs. And on the invitation, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so.
Yeah.
And was asked if they could bring their 6 children of a blended family.
I just want to say this too. Wedding etiquette, if you get a wedding invitation and it says addressed to Mr. and Mrs. whatever, or addressed to so-and-so and so-and-so, that's who they're inviting.
Right.
They're not inviting your children. They're not inviting your friend. That's it. And if you get a wedding invitation that just says your name on it, that's it.
Right. It doesn't say and guest.
And guest, it says just you.
Right.
You're the only one that's been invited.
Right.
That's just some wedding etiquette tidbit, tippy tip right there. Take it to the bank.
Before I finish this story, kind of playing on that whole etiquette thing, I've gotten invitations before. I have 4 kids, and I've gotten invitations before that say Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so and family.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your kids are young enough,
yes,
then it's obviously just the kids. There was a recent wedding that we got invited to, and it said and family. And I called the couple right away to clarify because one of my kids has a serious partner.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know.
And Jackie's married.
And Jackie's married. Well, Jackie got a separate invitation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But my 3 single children, it was on my invitation and family. So I assumed that it meant my 3 other children.
Right.
Because I knew Jackie got her own invitation. And so I just called her and was like, does this include, Anthony's girlfriend that he's had or not? I wasn't asking for him to bring her. I just wanted to know. And she's like, no, we do want her to come. She ended up not being able to.
Right.
But I just wanted to clarify
Absolutely.
it. So it, if it says and family, there may be some issues where you need to clarify that with the couple. But yeah, no, this was a straight up blended family situation. One person had kids from a previous relationship. The other person, the Mr. and the Mrs. had children from previous relationships. These weren't young kids either. These were 16, 17, 18. These were adult children.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I know what
like,
you're saying.
Maybe like 14, 15. Not like, little kids.
Not like a 5-year-old. It's
right.
Like
right.
you
These
are
were
a full-blown, like grown person.
A full-blown, you can stay home by yourself. You can go out with your friends to the movies for the night while mom and dad are going to this wedding. Yeah. It was that kind of a situation.
You can have a party at the house.
And right. And so I, respectfully just called them back on the phone and was like,
wait, hold on. They sent back the RSVP with Mr. and Mrs.
No. They
and.
No. They got the invitation and sent me a text. Hey, got the invitation. Really looking forward to the wedding. Just out of curiosity, would it be okay if...
Oh, so they already knew, no, they're not invited, but I'm going to ask for them to be invited. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I texted back, because you should always respond to somebody in the way they reach out to you. That's a little tidbit from one of our wedding guru friends. So I texted back and I was like, I really appreciate you asking.
Yeah.
I'm, excited that they're all going to be together and this is some family time that you guys have planned, but I can't. Like, if you can't come because of that and you need to spend this time with your kids because they're all able to get together at the same time, I get it. And I totally understand. Would love if you guys could be there, but no, it's really just you and you.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. We just can't do that.
Yeah.
Which is hard for me to stand up for myself and be an advocate for that. But I had to. I just couldn't. Mostly because I was just like, really?
That's like 6 grown-ass adult children. I have one. I think I can top that.
Okay, that's a full table because reception tables are like tables of 8.
Yeah, you want to take up a whole fucking table with your family,
right?
No.
Yeah.
So I think I can top that. One of my friends, they got married, and they sent out the invitation again to Mr. and Mrs. And on the RSVP card, because you get it back, it was Mr., Mrs., comma, and they had to flip it over. They had added 12 people onto the RSVP card. She had to call back and be like, or first,
who are these people?
I think it was like cousins or something. She had to call her fiance's mom and be like,
what relation are they to the actual two people who were invited?
The guy's cousins or something, like aunt and uncle and cousins or something.
They just decided like, hey, I want to bring auntie so-and-so and my cousin.
Oh yeah, I don't know the rest of the add-on people. But oh my God. My friend, she ended up having to call her fiance's mom to be like, because it was his family that did it. And she was like, hey, need some clarification. Like what's going on?
Right.
Like that's a big no. And the mom was like, you know what? It's fine. Just let him. And she was like, what? Like what? She was like, I'll call it. Or she was like, I got it. I'll call it. I'll deal with it.
That's something Dom would do that.
Yeah. But it was just like, well, you can't do that. No. Like you can,
but that's
don't do that.
So rude. I know I'm old fashioned and I know I'm from another, whatever time period, but that's just freaking rude.
I will say like, I know it bothered you, but at least they reached out and asked. I know there was like some pushback of like, well, I don't know if we'll be able to make it then or whatever, but at least they reached out and asked.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big one. If you're going to ask, I also think that, that should have been a phone call. Like you did, like you clarified, you called and clarified.
No,
hey,
I texted them back.
No, I'm saying for Anthony's girlfriend,
yes.
like you called and clarified, hey, it should be over the phone or in person. So that's one tip there for you. If you are going to ask about bringing a +1, also let's clarify what stipulates as a +1. If you just started dating someone, or if you met this bitch on Tinder and you're like, hey, baby, you want to go to this wedding with me next week? Don't you dare.
Right.
Don't you dare. The fucking balls it takes to do that. Yeah. Like,
especially if the invitation was just to you and didn't include a +1.
I feel like that you need to be in a very serious relationship, like over a year relationship, not just like, oh, we've been dating for 6 weeks. Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. But if you get an invitation that says you and guests, take whoever you want.
No, I'm talking about if you don't get that invitation.
Oh, okay.
What stipulates to me, in order to ask someone for a +1, if you were not given a +1.
Yeah, because you know what? As a couple, I want you there. I don't want your random ass person that you just met last week coming. But I don't know who that is.
Right.
Don't come to my wedding.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but if like, okay, hey, we like have been out of touch, or like, oh, you didn't, I guess like you didn't hear, like I'm like with someone, like we were like, if it's like you're, if you've been out of touch, why are you inviting them to your wedding? I thought about that too. Like, why am I going to this person? I was trying to think of the relationship of someone that wouldn't know that you were in a serious relationship.
Well, maybe you just broke up and you're on the rebound and you have a new person.
Maybe.
Whatever.
I don't know. Fucking hell. Just ask someone and be respectful if they're like, hey, I appreciate you reaching out and asking. And I think that's great, but like, unfortunately, no. And there are reasons that go into that, like financial, like we have a budget for the wedding and I'm sorry, I can't allow everyone to have a +1. Like for us, I gave everyone in the wedding party got a +1, regardless of if they were in a relationship or not.
Right.
Like even if they just wanted to bring a friend.
Right.
Everyone got a +1 that was in the wedding party.
Right.
And then anyone else, unless they were in a serious relationship, they did not get a +1.
Yeah.
And I had a friend be like, hey, I didn't get a +1. I was like, yeah.
Well, here's something else.
Who are you bringing? I fucking know you. Who are you bringing?
Right. And yeah, because, okay, so I have a comment to that. So if you know them, then they probably know other people that are invited to the wedding. So it's not like they're going to be lonely and alone and sitting by themselves. I took into consideration too that some of our family and friends that were out of state that I knew maybe weren't in a relationship or whatever, I offered a +1 because they're traveling from 3 states away. Like, just bring a companion, bring somebody to travel with, or if you want to do that, so that is something to take into consideration. But
and we invited a lot of like Ryan's fraternity brothers, and I was like, I don't need y'all bringing +1s. Like, I don't need, I know a lot of y'all are single.
We don't need this to be a hoedown.
I know. I'm like, I don't need literally a hoedown. Like, I'm not trying to see these tricks and then like be in my wedding pictures and be like, oh yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, if you're inviting a bunch of people, even if they're in, I guess it just depends on the seriousness of the relationship.
Then if you bring an uninvited guest,
well, there you go. Here's all the fraternity brothers and we're going to come and bring a girlfriend.
Right. But like, okay, let's just talk logistics. There's chairs at the ceremony that are set out for the people that are invited. There are chairs set like at the tables, there's a floor plan, there's been meals purchased,
right?
Alcohol has been budgeted,
right?
Like things go into, it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm sure they won't mind. Like, no, there's everything, the food,
the guest count's not a suggestion.
Yeah. Like this is how many people said they were coming. Okay. So, hey, caterer, baker, whatever, like rental company for chairs, like this is how many people, these are how many chairs we need, and then your wedding planner knows, set out these amount of chairs. Anyway, it's not just
that could send that could just send everything into a frenzy, like, oh my god, find somebody who can bring some extra chairs out, or this table, we need to make a table of 10 now, and so, like there's not enough cake to serve it. I mean, it's just
it's rude. It's rude.
Hopefully it doesn't get to the point where it's so many people that like that happens, but you just
everyone has a window because caterers and wedding photographers and wedding planners know that shit unfortunately happens. It does. So there is like a buffer, but that's still not, if you're listening to this, that is still not okay. It's still not, just because they have a buffer and can, like, there's a backup plan, it doesn't make it right. It still is a big deal. Yeah. And it's not your fucking day. Like, why are you bringing somebody that wasn't on the invitation? Like, don't do that. What's wrong with people? I don't know. Let's call him an ass.
We need to bring back, who was that lady from years ago in the newspaper when we had those things? Irma Bombeck or something? The etiquette lady.
Oh, Miss Manners?
Miss Manners. Yeah. There was somebody like super famous for it, of course. Whatever. We just don't have manners in this country anymore.
Chivalry is dead. All right, let's take a time out. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about more.
We are heated.
I know. I'm like, I didn't think I was going to get so like fired up, but like here I sit and fired up.
We'll have more right when we come back.
Yes, we will. Okay, and we're back.
All right, I just got lectured by
my gourd. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Moving on.
If you're watching on YouTube, you probably noticed that Laura's table is a little bit cleaner. I can't help it.
It was okay.
I mean, can we at least like look like we have our shit together? They hear us. At least if we come off like we know what we're doing, if we look like we know what we're doing, maybe one day we'll get there.
Yepers.
Oh boy. Okay. So the next wedding guest faux pas bullshit is, and I think this is so fucking rude, is showing up to just the reception or just not RSVPing and just showing up.
Oh, both of those suck.
Or RSVPing and not showing up. Bitch, I'll send you a bill. I don't give a fuck. That's so rude.
I'm sure, like, when I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I do see like news art, TMZ stuff, whatever. Maybe not TMZ. So scratch
like
that.
Reddit.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh, bride gets slammed on social media for sending guests a bill. And I'm sure it's whatever.
I mean, that might be a little bit drastic. I'd want to send you a bill, but like,
I'm not going to send you a bill because if I got a bill, I'd be like, yeah.
I'd laugh.
Whether
like,
I was wrong or not.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
I'm not.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
That would be going right in the garbage can. But yeah, showing up for just the reception, I know some instances where that has happened. When Dom and I first started dating or maybe married, and I was living up in New Jersey. There was a few weddings that we had gotten invited to, family, friends, whatever. And there were some people that I knew weren't at church for the wedding, but came to the reception. I'm like, that's rude.
So rude.
Yeah.
Listen. And the reason listen up, baby. The big reason I think this is so rude is because the wedding ceremony is the reason for the celebration in general.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm just here for the free food and alcohol.
Right. Like the wedding itself is why you're there to celebrate. Yeah. So be there for the reason to go to the reception.
Yeah. I've also seen in that particular situation, some of the weddings that I went to up there, I saw like people come and sit in the back of the church in like cash, whatever clothes. Not like bathrobe or anything, pajamas, but like threw on just a quick like whatever, sat in the back at the church, and then just like went home, showered, dressed, fancy clothes, come to the reception.
Oh, like for a Catholic wedding? Yeah. Because there's like that big gap in the middle.
It's not a big gap, but that whether there is or not, that's not a reason to do that, in my opinion.
Why wouldn't you just get ready in the first place?
I don't know. I don't know. That would be a great question. I would love the answer to, but I've witnessed it is all I'm saying. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Unless the couple has specifically said, like invited you to the reception. I don't even know how you'd break that down. Like if you want like a small intimate ceremony.
I was just going to say, maybe you wanted just a small family, intimate, whatever. But I would imagine that the invitation would then say, please join us in a reception celebrating the marriage of whatever.
Like then it would definitely say that. But like also even just like showing up halfway through the ceremony, I think is so, at that point, just go to the reception. Like, because now you're disrupting, especially if it's a smaller ceremony anyway, like at that point you're disrupting, like it's weird. And now like that you're just like coming in halfway through, you're taking the moment off of the couple getting married. It's just,
I don't know, just the way things are now in, the past, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so, more weddings are happening at the venue. Yeah. Or they're like flipping the room. So it's a ceremony and then you move into this like little area maybe for a cocktail while they flip the room, or you're getting married at a barn and the wedding is set up outside and then you go into the barn I would think that would probably be harder to do or less of a thing because you're going to that one venue, back years or not years ago. I make this sound like it's so archaic, but less people are getting married in a church. Yeah. So if you did get married in a church and then you have all this, you go to the church, park your car, go in, whatever, and then transition 20-minute drive to the reception hall. I could see why somebody might do that, although I don't think it's right.
No.
I would just think though, because of the way things are now with ceremonies happening at the reception, that may cut down on that. But it's still not a cool thing to do.
No, it's not. Also, not RSVPing. There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
I hate that more than anything. And even being in the wedding industry, sometimes when we do vendor events, that happens where the vendors don't even reply and then they show up or vice versa. And I'm thinking, you're in the business. You understand the importance of a head count and a floor plan and a seating chart. Why are you doing that? You know better.
Yeah. You know better.
You think you know better.
This is the thing. If you have sent out, I don't even want to say properly, if you've budgeted to send out you're sending out your wedding invitations, you have done it 8 weeks before the wedding. Yeah. You don't need your RSVP back for about like 3 to 4 weeks. So you have that RSVP card for a minimum of 3 weeks.
Sitting on your kitchen counter.
Right. And there's probably a stamp on it as well. So you don't even need to go to the fucking post office to get that bitch stamped. You
can fill it out on your way back to the mailbox. Hell, you can back out of the driveway and drop it in the mailbox.
Just take a pen to the mailbox, write your little yes replying, lick it, put it in, red flag up. That's it.
Why do people wait too? I don't understand that. Why do you wait? If you're invited to a wedding, most likely you're fairly close with the couple or one side of the family, half of the couple. Yeah. Like you probably already know what's happening. You probably already got to save the date, or you definitely
got to save the date already. If you're invited, you've gotten to save the date. You know when it is. You've looked at the website. You've gotten your fucking hotel. You've already decided in that moment when you got to save the date, I'm going or I'm not.
Yeah. So it's easy when the mail comes, invitation, and people get excited. What am I? Or I wonder if this is, Susie's invitation. You open the thing up, you read it, you're like, I get to pick between this and that. Fill it out, put it back in the mailbox. Why do you even wait? I still have 2 more weeks before it's due. Why are you waiting?
What's it matter? RSVP. But you're going? Yeah. What's the deal?
I think being a mother of the bride and going through that process, I got to experience for the first time what it's actually like to be waiting for RSVPs to come back, because in the meantime you're trying to make the seating chart. And so for people who or families or guests who don't make up like a whole table like of 8 like your family would, you're trying to figure out who is in the same whatever circles with these people so you can sit them together and whatnot. Right. So you're kind of mapping that out as RSVPs come back, and you've probably talked to some people so you know that they want to come or have said they want to come. They haven't RSVP'd. It just, oh my gosh, if you are in the point where the couple or someone from the family has to reach out to you, from the family has to reach out to you to say, hey, we haven't gotten your RSVP. you should be uninvited.
Should be ashamed of yourself.
You'd be like, oh, okay, you didn't RSVP. Okay, well, you can't come now.
But now you can't come.
Yeah.
You can't sit with us now.
Because it's just,
asshole.
It's just, that's so rude.
It's
do
so
not
rude.
make the couple track you down.
Correct. And you want to know something? Speaking of having Ryan's fraternity brothers, those are the motherfuckers I had to fucking reach out to and be like, are you coming or not? Oh yeah, I haven't checked the mail, but like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm like, all right, you know what? Don't even send it back. What do you want? Meat or fish?
Right.
What the fuck do you want?
I have you on the phone.
While you're sitting here, tell me what you want to eat. Like, I don't like, fuck, man. Come on. And I did have to call one friend, but I think we talked about that. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm not coming because I signed up for it. Bitch. So.
Yeah, but that begs the question, like, okay, if I just have you on the phone, you're like, oh yeah. Just give me the filet. Are you coming though?
They all came.
Are you going to put it on your calendar? You're not going to forget, are you? Because that's the flip side is RSVPing that you're coming and then not showing up.
We had a couple of those.
Yeah.
That ship, those, we had 3.
I mean, the couple's going to pay.
It was like 2 people invited. It was a couple and then a solo. Yeah. And I was like,
Bitches get stitches.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's already paid for. Regardless, because
it is already paid for.
You have to pay those final bills like a week or 2, whatever.
Yeah,
before.
No, it's already paid for.
Yeah, and so
your meal is paid for.
Yeah, there's an empty seat right there at the table.
And you know what? I look back on this too.
Deep breath.
I know. I'm like, shit. At the ceremony, I wish, and I think wedding planners need to start doing this. If there are empty seats, just say like, hey, can everyone scoot up, fill the seats so that we can take the empty chairs away.
Take the 2 place setting or however many.
Yeah, like just can we fill the seats up? Yeah. Because then it's like it makes it look a little bit fuller. I don't care if there's only 30 fucking people there. Like pull everyone up to the front and take the empty chair. No, at the ceremony and take the empty chairs away. Yes. Because those pictures when you have like I'm sitting here and then another person sitting here and then I have 2 empty seats right in the middle. For some reason, the photographer always gets that shot and you're like, I'm a loser. I didn't have anyone at my wedding. No, I had all these extra chairs in hopes that people would show up. Yeah. But it's like, I feel like just
move everybody up and fill in the empty seats.
Yeah. Hey, I hate asking everyone to get up, but like, let's move everyone up so we can take these extra chairs away. Because
there's people who, my sister-in-law is one of them. She's probably going to have to sit on the end of the aisle. Yeah. So she can see the bride walking down. Yeah, that's cool. So she might obviously sit there. These chairs might be empty. Yeah. Nobody's behind. Yeah, just everyone move forward and fill in.
Yeah, that's fine. Leave her row. Let's leave full row. But just, scoot up, fill in.
Yeah. Well, my point with that was everyone's got their spot. Some people just want to come in, sneak in the back. Some people have to sit on the end of the aisle, whatever. But if, the wedding planner, that'd be a great thing to do.
That's my tip for any wedding planners.
I'm sure they probably do.
I didn't mind.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, so okay. If you're so let's get back to not RSVPing. Yeah. That's the big thing too. I think the takeaway is like if you don't RSVP, but then you show up, like I said, there's a buffer. But if 10 of you do it, 7 of you aren't eating.
Right.
7 of you are not going to eat. You're not going to have a place to sit. You need to go outside, go down the street, find a sub shop because you're not eating this food.
Yeah.
You're not eating this food. You can have my leftovers. We can put leftovers on a plate. Anyone who didn't finish their plate, dump it into this fucking slop bucket for these assholes to eat. But you're not eating a fresh plate. Oh, you don't get a seated dinner now.
Oh, I'm done with my steak. Would you like the rest of my potatoes?
Would you like my potatoes, please?
Oh my goodness.
But it's so rude. And again, you brought up a good point of like, fuck man, this episode got me heated. Like during the last final weeks, the last 4 weeks leading up to your wedding is so stressful. Mm-hmm. And now on top of everything else that this couple has to do, now they have to call and like, hey, are you going to come to my wedding? Come party with me, please. Come celebrate our love. Like that's the last thing that they should have to fucking worry about.
I just want to know.
I just need to know yes or no. And you're not at this point. I don't even fucking want you to come because you like deadline is in 2 days. And even if you mailed your shit out today, I'm not going to get it.
Right.
Are you coming or not?
Yeah.
Like that is annoying.
Other things that I need to do.
Yeah.
Final fittings.
Yeah.
Run errands. Maybe do something to pamper myself, like get a manicure and a pedicure. Yeah. Like I don't have time.
I need to take a Xanax tonight and go the fuck to sleep.
Right. The last thing you need to be doing is freaking calling and texting everybody who didn't have the courtesy to RSVP.
Did you ever hear that book, Go the Fuck to
That's
Sleep?
the hill I'm going to die
Yeah, I'm
on.
dying on that hill. Morgan Freeman, I think, did a book like, please go the fuck to sleep. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's like a kid's book, but like, obviously I would never read it to my kid.
Oh, it's an adult. It's a kid's book written for an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. Like read it to your 1-year-old, but not your 4-year-old.
They'll never remember.
No. All right. Let's take another break and we come back. We'll talk about one more thing that I'll probably get heat. I can feel my face getting red.
I know. I'm like, oh God, I can't talk fast enough.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back. Here we are.
Okay. That's for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lauren, I always like, okay. And are we back? Are we back? Are we back?
Are we back?
Here we are. Is it happening for
are.
real? Okay. It's like a little teasy trick game. Is this going to be the real one or is the next one? All right. Last one that we're going to talk about today.
Oh gosh.
And if y'all have any like wedding guest faux pas or like shit that like bullshit that guests have done to you, send us an email at stories@cheerstothatshit.com.
Yeah, there's got to be more stories.
Shoot us an
out there.
Instagram, like DM. Like I want to hear this shit because clearly we're very passionate about the bullshit that's happened.
Has to be a big issue or I wouldn't be so intense.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I've angered myself to the point of having now physical reactions.
I think these are easy, relatable things that have happened to everybody.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Yeah.
Or somebody you know.
Yeah.
Or you've just realized you're that person.
You know who you are.
That's not me. I can promise you 100% I have not done any of these things.
I have done the next one. I've done this one.
Oh, see, this is bad too.
All right. Not bringing a wedding gift.
That's so rude.
I know.
It's rude.
I know.
I don't know why we bring gifts to a wedding. I don't know what the traditional, historical, whatever, but it's a tradition. You bring a gift to a wedding.
I know.
Do it. Why don't you do it? There's no reason not to do it. Even if it is something, a $10 candle that was on the gift registry, which, I don't know. I guess a lot of people do wedding. I'm thinking registry more like for showers and stuff. I guess people do gift registries for wedding gifts for their wedding.
Yeah, we've talked about
that. Well,
I
mean, okay. So, being from the South, I know that growing up, every time me or my family went to a wedding, we brought a gift. But being exposed to Dom and New Jersey and his family, and I don't know if it was Northern or Italian or what it was, a lot of people money.
Yeah.
And there's like a thing for envelopes for money. So I've kind of have a little bit of both, but
this is where I fall. Mm-hmm. Love money. Money's great. Bring that to a wedding. That's where for me personally, don't bring me a fucking blender to my wedding. Send that shit to my house. Send that shit to my house. Yeah. That's where I don't bring shit to the wedding.
Oh, okay. In terms of you get a gift for someone, you just don't bring it to the wedding.
No,
okay.
I don't bring because when I got married,
totally fair. Get it.
Yeah, when I got married, and people brought, which super nice. Thank you so much for everyone for doing that. We love it, and I use it all the time. But like, I have all my clothes, my makeup. I have this like 6 bags. Now I got to bring this gift. I got a car. We're staying in a hotel. I'm not going back to my house. Now I got to find someone to take all this shit back to my house. Blah, 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 blah. Like just bring like, it's just too, personally, it's too much.
Did your wedding planner like pack all that stuff up in your car for you?
I mean, okay, yes, technically, but still we had to unpack it. And put it in our hotel room.
That was just a question.
Yes.
Our wedding planner did that for Jackie.
Yeah. So we had to pack it up. We had to unload it from the car because we had a getaway car. Like we got like, I mean, it's just, it's a lot. It's just that shit to me is too much.
Fair. In all fairness, the couple doesn't probably think about that at all. In specifically not bringing a gift, I think is where, just talking about what's rude or whatever. Advice to guests, send it to their house, I think is the bottom line.
Yes.
Because you don't realize what the couple has to do after. And Jackie and Ben stayed at the venue. It was like had an overnight thing there. Yeah. So they stayed there. So what is supposed to stay in the car and then go to the airport? Yeah, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just, I think the best thing, like I have been to my fair share of weddings and I have never brought a gift to the wedding.
I just think as a guest, that's great advice for a guest.
Yeah.
you don't know what the situation is for the couple. So for logistical purposes, it's better to send it to their house.
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with bringing a gift to the wedding.
Well, in your opinion, to me, there is. Cash or card to the wedding. Anything that comes in a fucking box, send it.
Okay.
Send it.
Okay.
Send it. It's just too much.
Well, it's too much for the couple, but as a guest, you don't know that.
I'm telling you right now, it's too much.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So now you know.
It's good advice, but it's not like a faux pas, you screwed up, you brought a big box.
But you know what is a faux pas? Not getting a gift at all.
Well, that's preach. Yeah.
Rude as fuck.
Yeah.
Rude as fuck. That's like being invited to a house, like a house gathering, like a house party.
Warming, yeah.
Like a housewarming thing. I'm like house party, like boop, boop, boop. But like it's an extension. Weddings are like an extension of the home almost. Like this is our family now. Like we're one. We're a family unit. Now we're making our house a home. Like it's an extension. So if I invited you, if we had like a dinner party over, you would bring a bottle of wine.
I take, this is a little off topic, but whenever I get invited to something that I feel is a little more like, oh, you want to come over for football? What is that? Super Bowl Sunday.
Like bring an app or something.
Right. Yeah. I'm talking about like if someone invited me to a dinner party, or it was a Christmas Eve party or something where we're inviting some friends, I always take a hostess gift.
Yeah, like a bottle of wine, a nice candle, something.
Yes,
like
corkscrew. Yeah, something
you
thoughtful.
bring something. You bring something. I got the olive oil that you got me when we moved into our house.
Right, and you didn't even have a housewarming.
Yeah, no. I didn't have furniture to sit on for months, Laura.
That was just out of the goodness of my heart, because I'm a proper little Southern girl.
But it is like
the biggest faux pas ever. Then if you're going to take something to a housewarming, you better fucking bring something to a wedding. That's the biggest event ever.
Right.
Yeah. So don't be that person who doesn't bring a gift.
Or send it to their house.
I will never bring a gift to anything unless it's at your house. I will never do that.
You're like, I'll send it to you.
I'm not even bringing you a birthday present to the office because you're going to have to stick it in your purse and take it home.
All right. Duly noted. Well, ditto. Fucking ditto. But it's just, there's no excuse. Like, and I'm sure like now, like everyone, there's websites. There is an option.
Easy to do that.
There's an option that says like send to a register or whatever, like send to the couple. Like you can click that box and send it straight to their house. They'll wrap it. Like you can put like gift wrap, that
a message.
Yes. Like it's so easy. It's all laid out. Yeah. And I will also say you have after a year for the couple to get them a gift. You have that first full year to get them a gift. So if
you can't get your shit together from the 8 weeks that you get your invitation to go
save the date.
Okay, well we'll start with save the date, but then there's showers and all that stuff. Let's just go with you invitation about 8 weeks out. Okay. That's 2 months. If you can't get your shit together to go to the bank and get some cash, or I'm not even going to say write a check because who writes checks anymore, or go online and have it shipped to their house, you got bigger problems.
Right. But technically you have that first year.
Yeah. Okay.
You
that's
technically
great,
do.
But that's
so I know we talked about registries before. I have followed the registry, but then I've also sent them like a first anniversary Christmas gift, like a little like
nice.
Put on your tree, like a happy first Christmas
as part of their wedding gift.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And like I thought you meant like a year later you sent them. No.
Like I think they got married. When did they get married? They got married in like September, October. It was like some fall, and I was like. And I don't know what was happening in my life, but I just was a fucking mental mess. And so I just didn't know. I got to their wedding. I was like, oh my God, fuck. I didn't get them a gift. So I was like, you know what? I'll send something at the beginning of December and I'll just send, and I'll also get like a little cute, like engraved ornament
That's really sweet.
Yeah. And so I was like, it was after their wedding. I still sent them one. But I was like, I'll make it like purposeful. Like I'll make it be like, oh, but look, I wanted to do it at Christmas time. Instead of being like, haha, I fucked up. I didn't have my shit together. And so I finally got it together.
You just gave me an idea. So, when you're about to go on a trip and you're going to fly in an airplane and this like the TSA, don't forget, you can't bring a weapon. You can't bring anything over 3 ounces. They should include a tips for guests in the invitation. This should be a trend. We should start it. Don't fucking bring a +1 unless I said and guest on your invite. Don't bring people that weren't invited. You better fucking get me a gift, and even better, send it to my house. There should be a whole to-do list.
A whole tips for guests.
Tips for guests that go with the invitation. I'm going to make that a trend.
All right. It's trending here. You heard it first. We have already.
Would you be offended if that came in your invitation? Oh, it's dead silence. Radio silence.
Would I be offended?
I think it'd be.
I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't be offended.
I think it's how it's presented to you. But it is very passive aggressive.
It's very passive aggressive. But if it was like funny,
yes,
I would laugh. I would laugh because here's the thing too. Like I'm very type A type of person, and I do like things a certain way. So like I was very big on like. There were a couple things about my wedding that I was like, sorry. Like, I know this probably doesn't make sense to anyone, but it's the way I want it. I'm ADHD, which comes out in OCD and anxiety. And I am a controlling person and I need this to be this way. And I'm sorry that it's not going to make sense to anyone else.
Right.
But I won't be able to walk down the aisle.
Right. If it's not this way.
It's not this way because I will literally only be thinking about that the entire time. And I'll be so mad. So I think if it comes off as like a funny, like if it like flows with the couple's personality. Right. Because if they're a very like loosey goosey type couple, then it probably doesn't make sense. But like if it were coming from me, they'd be like, oh, that's so Emily.
That's so Emily.
That's so Emily. Yeah. Like,
There's got to be a respectful, nice way to say some of these things to potential wedding guests, because it's a big deal and it can really make for a very uncomfortable, just unnecessary situations that the couple has to handle.
Yeah. Let's recap. Don't fucking ask for
I just said that in my tips for couples. Okay, you're mocking me now.
No, I think that's this. You know what? I got heated this episode. I need to go stand outside for a second and scream at someone. Yeah. Someone running by. Why are you fucking running?
Oh my gosh!
Let my anger out on an unsuspecting victim.
Oh my gosh! Well, please send us your stories because if we are this heated, like I was saying before, there's got to be more stories out there, and I'd love to hear. There's got to be some doozies. I'd love to hear those
stories at cheerstothatshit.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Cheers to That Shit Podcast. And watch our YouTube videos, which reminds me I still need to put the YouTube video up for the episode that came out this past week. Sorry about it. We got busy. But YouTube, send us your stories. Love you, mean it. TTYL.
BRB.
Talk to you next week.